Hello everybody, Keith Doherty here and welcome to this very special presentation. Tonight we're going to talk about how I turned $20 into a multi-million dollar online business and how you can use the same system yourself. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. I'm going to give everybody just another minute to jump on. And if you can hear me, just go ahead and type in the chat box. Just let me know the audio is coming across and that you can hear the audio. Sometimes GoToWebinar is a little bit weird and it doesn't exactly work right. All right, it looks like everything's coming across. Everything looks like it is working. All right, like I said, we're going to get started here in just another minute or so. We'll give people a chance to jump on. Send out another message here. Let everybody come onto the call here with us, and then we will get started. All right, so we're going to go ahead and kick things off. Hey, Ron. I also see Andrea, Barbara, Blanca, Cody, Glenn, a whole bunch of everybody. I appreciate you taking the time to chime in there. If you haven't been on one of my calls, I'm pretty interactive with my calls. So that basically means that just to kind of put that out to you ahead of time here, you may have been on other workshops that you watch the workshop and they try to sell you something. There's nothing for sale here today. You can't buy anything even if you want to. So just don't worry. We're not here to try to sell you. I'm here to just give you the blueprint of how I was able to build my business with just $20. And I want to share it with you. I like to do these. I like to give back. I've been in this business for over 10 years, and I enjoy doing these training sessions. So another thing is I like answering questions. So any type of question you have throughout the presentation, just go ahead and ask it. I may not be able to answer it right at that point, but I promise you I will get to it, even if I have to stay to the end, and we will make sure we get your question answered. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So if you're not familiar with me or my journey, once again, my name is Keith Doherty. I've been in this industry for 10 years. I started back in 2008, November, December, tried network marketing, didn't quite work out. I'm not going to bash network marketing because I think it's a great business model if you implement it the right way. But back when I did it, back in 2008, I got into a company, try to pay all the money and do the upgrades and all that kind of stuff. And it just didn't work out for me. I didn't have the right skill set at that point. 2009, I got into SEO offline. I actually founded my company and signed a big offline deal. So I worked with the company. They hired me for SEO service. It was a $60,000 contract. It's a great way. It kind of catapulted my success back in 2009. And since then, we've gone on to do more of the same. We've done a lot of book publishing, product creation. So we've published, I have 7 best-selling books. My most recent one, we actually beat out Damon John of Shark Tank and Gary Vee. So that was pretty cool. And Jeff Walker, if you heard of Jeff Walker. So I beat all them with my recent book launch. So we continue to do more of the same: list building, video marketing, more of the same. I'm not going to make you sit here and go through all my 10 years of everything we've done, but we've done quite a bit and we've had tons of success over the years in just about every avenue of online marketing. So just wanted to show you that, not trying to, boast or, pound my chest, basically just to show you that been in this industry for over 10 years and we've had a lot of success. So if you are trying to get started or you've gotten started and you're looking a way to advance things, then we could be, what we're going to teach you here tonight could be very helpful to you. So I'm going to dive right into the blueprint. So that was it for my slides. I don't have any other slides. I'm not here to show you pictures of me doing all sorts of crazy fun stuff. I don't leave piles of cash laying all over my desk like some marketers do for some reason. Show you houses and cars and trips and families. It doesn't matter why I have what I have or the success I've built. What I find with my students is it's all about what you want, right? Everybody on here may have a different purpose in what you're trying to build. So I'm not going to show you pictures of everything I've done because it really doesn't matter. But if I can show you a blueprint that you can use that same blueprint and have the success you want. So whether you want to have the nice cars, the houses, the vacations, donating to the churches, helping, the causes you want, taking vacation, not reporting to someone, doesn't matter what it is. It's up to you to determine that, but that's for you to figure out and be able to get there. All right, so let's go ahead and let me close this out since we don't need this anymore. We're going to jump into my blueprint. So this was actually how I kicked things off way back in 2010. So this is the methodology, and it's continued to work since then, and I've continued to expand upon it and build upon it. But it all started with $20 that turned into $109,763.18. And this was actually back in 2010 when I kicked my business off. So this is when I really got things going in the online world. This isn't the offline, this is the online. So when I say offline, in case that's confusing for some people, I mean like being an offline, like being a consultant to businesses. So when I say offline, that's dealing with other businesses, brick and mortar businesses, providing SEO, lead generation services, Facebook marketing, digital marketing services to the people in, brick and mortar type businesses. The online world to me is like affiliate marketing, product creation, selling, things on ClickBank, JVzoo, Warrior Plus, things like that. That's the online world. Just in case, if you're really new and this is new to you. So I'm going to walk you through, it's actually a 7-step process that I went through to actually launch this first online venture, this first product that generated this money actually came in over a 4-month period. So this $109,000 was generated in a 4-month period. It wasn't even over the year. That's just how things got started, how it got kicked off. So if everybody's ready to get started, because sometimes I talk fast because I get excited when I talk about the business, is everybody ready to get started? Just give me a why in the question, the chat box, whatever's on your screen. Let me know you're there. Let me know you're ready for me to dive in and give you the content here. Once again, if you just got on, we are going through the blueprint of the $20 into a multi-million-dollar business. This was what kicked it off. And to reiterate, there's nothing for sale here. You can't buy anything. This is a pure content webinar to get you some good quality content and how I built my business. All right, excellent. Looks like everybody's ready. We're getting all the yeses coming in. Okay, actually, here we go. Presentation. So make sure now, so make sure now you can see the presentation. So now you should see the blueprint where it says 109,763.18 with the 6 steps. So make sure everybody can see that now, because I think I wasn't sharing the screen the right way. All right, looks like, let's double check here. Okay, looks like it's coming across now and everybody can see it just fine. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this process. So step number 1 is find a hot product. Now, let me ask you this. How many people on here, has anybody created their own product online, like a digital product, a SaaS product, a software as a service, anything like that? Has anybody tried to create their own product at this point? Have you ventured down that path? And excellent. It looks like everybody's saying they can see the screen now, so we do have that going. All right, so some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. All right, excellent. Looks like we got people on both sides of the fence. So when I say find a hot product, there's many different marketplaces out there to look at products. One of them is called Warrior Plus. So let's go ahead and bring this up here. So Warrior Plus, if you're not familiar with it, is I'll bring it up over here, is a marketplace that allows you to sell digital products. So they're digital, information products. They could be software as a service, and this is a great place to sell. You can sell it on this platform. It acts as a shopping cart for you, and basically this is where you can sell your product, and it's where you can go to do product research. So you can actually see what people are buying. Let's go ahead and okay, here we go. So what it does here, once you log in to the Warrior Plus dashboard, these are the best-selling products today. So PD Goldmine, Social Oxygen, OMG Profit. So these are the actual top 10 products of today. You can look at yesterday, you can look at last 7 days, you can look at last 30 days. So what I like to do when I'm doing research, on what kind of products are selling out there, is I like to look at this, or what was the most, what were the top 10 selling products in the last 30 days, and then take a look at these. So I would look at, what is Ripple? What does it talk about? I look at the sales page. So what I'm looking for, if I go back to the blueprint here, I'm actually looking, while I'm doing my market research, I'm looking at what is selling, okay? So obviously those products are in the top 10, so those are selling. So I'll go down through those and I'll make notes. I'll make a note. Are they an information product? Is it just purely information? Are they a SaaS product, a software? So is it software or is it digital? Typically on Warrior Forum and other forums, like, you're not going to see physical products because typically people don't sell those when it comes to the online internet marketing space. So what is selling? So you can easily, like I said, by using the Warrior Plus, you can go here. JVzoo is another place. It's another commission-based affiliate platform where you can go in here and you can create an account and you can see what's selling. Another place to look at what's launching. What kind of products are people launching in the industry? And if you go to a site called Muncheye, it's MUNCHEYE.com, you can see this is a place where affiliates, where product creators come to list all their upcoming launches. So these are big ones. So these are bigger name people that are launching. These are all launches. These are all the products that are coming out. Today's actually the 12th, so these just launched today. And you can see, some product names. You may not know exactly what they are until you look at them, depending on the name. But if you wanted more information on the product, like Affiliate Review Builder, if you actually look at it, it'll give you a JV page. So if you wanted to promote this as an affiliate, but I use this just to see, what it's about. So this is actually a piece of software. You can see if I go back here, sorry about all the clicking around. The niche right here, it tells you the niche or niche, however you like to say it. It's software. So this is a piece of software, the easiest way to create high converting affiliate sites in just minutes. So this is a launch that's coming out, actually launched today at 10 o'clock this morning. They're going to be selling at $17 and they're offering 50% commission. So this is obviously, a product that could be popular that I could look at. So while I'm doing my research is, I really want to see, the main thing is what's selling, what's sold in the last 30 days. What are these products about? Are they, what products are launching? What are people asking for? So another place is the Warrior Forum, is another place you can look for that. So it's another place I go for research, is the Warrior Forum. So the Warrior Forum, if you're not familiar with it, it's an internet marketing forum that basically allows you to, they have all sorts of things going on here. They have a marketplace where you can still, search Warrior special offers. These are also products that are launching, as well as you can look at, what topics are going on, what are people asking for, what kind of products are people looking for, what kind of feedback is out there. So this is what I did when I launched my product back in 2010. And I actually launched it on the Warrior Forum. I did market research. I found out what was working, what products were launching, and then I looked at, the different things. What were people looking for to make that product better? All right. So then I moved me to step 2, where I created my own product. Now this was a digital product. It was just, I create a lot of this is a mind map software called Xmind Pro. My mind works, I'm very step-by-step oriented. I like to write step 1, step 2, step 3. That's what I like to do. So when I create my products, I use this same software and I'll map the product out. I'll say, okay, if you're going to rank a site on Google, let's say that's one of my products, I'm going to say step 1, do keyword research. Step 2, buy a keyword rich domain name, right? Step 3, get hosted, right? I'm going to build that out and that becomes my product, right? So then all you have to do is you record your screen and you can talk about step number 1. That's your first video, right? Step number 2 is your second video. So this is an easy way that you can have a blueprint, because you can print this as a PDF and you can record the videos for each of the steps. And now you have, like, this course, if this was an actual course, would have 6 videos and 6 blueprints, all made within the Xmind Pro, as well as recording the screen. So that's how easy it is to basically create your own product. You don't have to be on screen. You don't have to do behind the camera if you don't like. Doing the screen capture is a great way to do it. Now, you could just write your content, like you could write out step 1 and then write an ebook and put it in a Word document. But people tend to like the different formats. So by doing it this way, I have the blueprint and I have the videos. I could have the videos transcribed if I wanted to, which would allow me to have an ebook, right? Because then I could actually still have an ebook with my entire product. So find a hot product. Then the next step is create your own product. So what you want to really do there is you want to make it the best product. So look at where other products are falling short. Look at the feedback that people are saying. You know, what are they saying is wrong with the product? What's missing? How can the product be made better? So you would improve upon it to make it more useful and more functional for people. You know, make it stand out. Have proof it works. This is a huge thing for a lot of people. So what I did back when I launched this is I found that a lot of people were getting into book publishing on CreateSpace through Amazon. So I saw people were doing that. And the other big thing I saw people doing was selling. They would set up an affiliate site, right? So they'd buy a domain name, they'd set up a site, and then they would try to SEO it for a keyword, get it to rank, and then they would sell that site on a place called Flippa, which is where you could easily, you know, sell your site. It still happens today. People still do that one piece. So what I decided to do when I created my product is I combined those two concepts. So back at the time we did this, I created a book. I took PLR, private label rights, and I created books and I published them on Amazon as a physical book. I made the keyword site, the website, keyword rich, published the site. The books sold on Amazon just because they had the keyword density, right? That people found them because of the keyword. I made a bunch of sales, and then I turned around and sold the sites on Flippa because I actually had a site that was making money. I had a product that I gave someone, the actual book, and it was already generating revenue. So people paid me really well to do that. So I had proof. I actually I created 2 books, published them, sold them. So the books actually made money. And then I flipped 2 sites and those made money. So I had proof that my product worked. So when I went to sell it, I could show people like, here's how you publish the book. I published the book, made money. So they saw me making money with the book. And then they saw me actually putting the site out and flipping the site and making money with the site. So I was able to prove that my product worked. I had actual proof that it worked. And that's what really made it stand out and made it different. Does anybody have any questions so far? Because sometimes, like I said, I talk a little bit fast. I get a little bit excited when I talk about this process. But does anybody have any questions for me at this point? Just make a pause here for a second, make sure I didn't miss any questions. All right, looks like everybody's good. All right, so it looks like we're good there. All right, so what I did, now here's the thing, when you're just getting started in this industry, sometimes even having an awesome product and making it stand out, having proof it works, having all those things doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to sell it and have success. The problem is you may not have an audience. So unless you know how to get traffic or you can buy traffic, people aren't typically JVs, you know, affiliates aren't going to promote your stuff because you're new and they don't know who you are. You could, unless you're, you know, like I said, good at getting traffic, buying it off of, you know, Facebook or Google, you know, you could drive it yourself. But what I decided to do is I'm all about creating leverage. I like to leverage things. I like to leverage other people. I like to leverage the products I create. I like to leverage everything because it's how you build a successful business. So what I did is I found a partner. I looked on the Warrior Forum, where was a really popular forum, and I looked at, you know, what people were launching products that were having a lot of success. And at the time, I found a guy named Rob Howard. Now, Rob, he was launching products like every week or at least every 2 weeks, and I'm like, man, this guy is doing really well. Obviously, he's launching all these products. He seems to be having success. He's on the leaderboards all the time. So what I did is I reached out to Rob, and I basically I found someone with reputation in the market. So Rob had the reputation, and I connected with him. And I said, Rob, I have this really cool product, and I showed him my proof. This is how I made the connection. Because if I just go to him and say, hey, I got this really cool product, but I don't have any proof that it works, he's not going to waste his time with that. So I showed him the proof. I said, hey, I got this really cool product that's around books. It's around publishing. You can make money that way. You can make money with selling the sites. And I sent him my screenshots and showed him how I made money with it. And he said, this is pretty cool. So what I did is I connected with him and I said, well, would you like to partner with me to launch this to the market? Because I didn't care if I had a partner, because to me, 50%, right? I'd have to share 50% with him as a partner. 50% of something was better than 100% of nothing, right? Because I didn't have an audience. I didn't have traffic. I wasn't known online. Nobody knew who I was. Even though I had offline success, I didn't have online success. So by finding Rob and leveraging him as a partner, it did a couple of things. It forced my action. So what that means is I became accountable. So when I went to Rob and said, hey, I got this whole product, we had deadlines and we had things, and so that forced me to take more action, and it forced me to be accountable, because now I had someone that was counting on me to do my part in this, and he took parts too. He said he'd write the sales letter, and I made sure I had all the technical stuff and the product and everything ready to go, but we had certain deadlines in that to deliver it because we were launching, right? We had a launch date. So all this, by doing this, I was able to leverage Rob's reputation on the Warrior Forum because he had a following, and we launched this. And I think we did the first week we put it out. It was only for a week, and we did like $5,000. So back then, this was 2010. So I made $2,500 on my very first launch because I leveraged the partner. So that was pretty cool to me that I just made $2,500 by finding a guy, right? Finding a guy that I could partner with, showing that I had a product that was good. And he basically got behind it and promoted it with me, and it had a success. $5,000 over a week was pretty cool, and I got half of it. So it was a really awesome week, and it kick-started my whole online business. So the key is to find the one partner, right? That's the key to leveraging if you're just getting started. To get going. Now the key to build on that, right? How did we get up to this $109,000 in 4 months, right? The 5,000 was great. It was a start. Is you need to get other partners, all right? JVs with other people. These are joint ventures, affiliates. So what we decided to do is I started reaching out. Now that I had, so what I did is I had proof, right, that my product worked. That was phase one. The next phase is I had to have proof that people in the market would buy the product. So I found a partner, I sold the product. So now I proved that people in the industry would pay for the product, right? So they were paying for the product because we actually sold, we made $5,000. And now I had more data. I had more proof that not only does the product have proof that it works, I had proof that the market accepted the product and the conversion rates were really good. So then I said, okay, how can we take this thing to the next level? How can we continue to build upon all this proof and everything we've done? So I went out and I started asking for partners. So I went out and said, hey, Rob, Howard, and I launched this product. Here's our stats. We had this conversion rate. We made this much money. It went really well. And I was able to, by doing that, I put the feelers out, and I connected with James Jones. I don't know if you're familiar with James Jones. He's been in the industry for probably about 20 years. Really successful. He does a weekly webinar every Wednesday evening, actually, and it's phenomenal. So I reached out to James and sent a message, said, hey, got this really cool product. I gave him the proof that it converted in the marketplace. And he said, that's great, but I'm actually working on an Amazon publishing product myself. And at first I'm like, dang it. I knew if I could have a webinar with James, this thing could be really successful. So that was at first, and I sent him another email. I said, well, maybe if you could take a look at this again, because we have these unique angles that we have with our product. And I showed him how the proof of how it works. He looked at that second email, and he actually called me up and he said, you know what, this is actually different than what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and run this together. So he decided to host us on his weekly webinar, right? And he gets lots of people on his webinar. I forget how many we had on. I don't know, like 200 or 300 people were on his webinar at the time. And we sold this product. We went on. I did a demonstration. I actually wrote a book on the call to show how easy the system works. And we sold it, and we did like $20,000 in an hour. So now I was even blown away even more, because I went from the 5,000 in a week to now I made 20,000. So that, even by splitting it with James and splitting it with Rob, I still walked away with like $5,000 for about an hour's worth of work for a product that was already created. So it was very, very powerful that I was able to leverage the proof of the product to the launch of the product. And now I was able to launch with James. And James was so happy with how well we launched that he introduced me to other potential people. So I look for long-term relationships. I look for high-end reputation, and then I asked too. We were talking to James. He's like, "Well, I got to introduce you to these other people." So he introduced me to Jason Fladlin. You may have heard of Jason. who works with Will Matos, John Rhodes, Brian Johnson, Rachel Raffay, Marlon Sanders, Ewan Chia, right? I did webinars with all these people, and it started by just one little thing. So that $20 first offering on the Warrior Forum, leveraging it with Rob, expanded itself into $109,000 in 4 months because I leveraged one thing after the next, after the next, after the next by getting other partners. So do you guys see how powerful that this system can be just by continuing to work it and stacking? I call it kind of like success stacking, where you're building upon each piece of your success, you build upon it, and then you step up and you step up and you step up to the next level. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Is there any questions so far before I reveal the secret partner formula? Because this is actually what was able to get me in front of some of the biggest names out there and be able to promote this product. All right, doesn't look like we have any questions at this point. So the secret partner formula is, I know this is the big one, and a lot of people are looking at this and really thinking, you know, how did you do this? How did you all of a sudden get all these big time people to run our run my promotion for me, right? And the secret partner formula was, we asked people to work with you. Ask people to work with you. It really comes down to that simple. A lot of people are afraid to ask. If I wouldn't have reached out to Rob, I wouldn't be probably sitting here today. I wouldn't even be talking to you, because who knows what path my life would have taken. I reached out to Rob to start this off. And then after the success with Rob, I reached out to James, who then catapulted me onto the webinar circuit. And from that point, James referred me. And then each person I did it for, I said, hey, would you know anybody else that would be interested in this? And they all recommended other people that were their friends, and they made an introduction, So James would say, hey, or talk to Jason. I ran it with Jason. Jason's like, hey, talk to John. Ran it with John. John's like, hey, talk to Brian, right? So I did all this, and it could just continued to stack and stack and stack. And then I had testimonials, right? Then I had James saying webinar was great. I had Jason Fladlin saying it was great. So then I could take those and go to even other people like Marlon Sanders and Ewan Chia, and I went to them and said, hey, I worked with all these other successful people. Here's their testimonials. Here's the success we've had. Here's our numbers. Would you be interested? And he's like, absolutely, right? All because I asked. I wasn't afraid to ask, because are some people going to say no, that maybe it isn't fit for their audience? Absolutely. But for the most part, people are going to want to, work with you if you ask, and if the numbers make sense, and if the product actually fits their audience. Essentially, they're going to work with you. So it really comes down to asking people to work with you. I know it seems very simple, but it comes down to that simple formula. Now, step number 5 is how I continue to build the business. So this was the launch of, this one product in the 4 months. Now, we did a lot more. We went on, this product sold hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that wasn't, obviously the millions that I've made over the 10 years I've been online. So how did I continue to make money? How did I continue to raise the game? So step number 5 is kind of like, I've already alluded to that earlier, but use each success to build more success. So what does that mean? How do I use? Well, I kind of gave you one example of, taking the proof here, right? And then I found Rob, I found a partner here. Then by finding Rob and having success, I leveraged that success into getting James here. And then that leveraged me into even more partners. So each piece of this, I leveraged it into even more and more success. But you can also use each success to build more. So for example, when Rob and I sold the initial product of, we made 5,000 in 7 days, that could be its own product. I could talk specifically, how did I do that? How did I make $5,000 in 7 days, right? Then with James, I think I said I made 20. It was actually 18,000. So I made $18,000 in 30 minutes. So that was another thing. I talked about exactly how I did that with James. Then I could talk about months. Oh, we did 35,000 in May, 25,000 in June, 41,000 in August. Those are all success points that I could then break down and teach people, well, how did I do that? How did I make 5,000? How did I make the 18? How did I make that $41,000 in August? How did I do that? Right? That all becomes each piece of this. Each time you step up, use that success to step up even further. How did I build a list of 8,000 people in 4 months? Right? Those are all, those all become separate courses, separate products that you can continue to stack. And once you get to this point where you've had success and you've built relationships, you can go back to those same people. That's why I look for high-end reputation people and long-term. I look for long-term because now I can go back to those people and say, hey, I created a new product. Would you be interested in promoting it? 9 times out of 10, these people, because they know how well the previous one went, they're going to just say yes. A lot of times my really close friend, they don't even care what the product. They're like, hey, I'll put you down for this date. Just send me the information. I don't even have to vet with them. I don't even have to say, well, I create a product called, 25K in June, here's what it's about. And they don't need to see the proof. They're just like, once you're in, with a long-term relationship like that with people and you're connected and you're vetted, they don't question your ethics. They don't question your quality. They just know that, hey, I'm going to bring Keith on February 16th because I know he brings good stuff, and I'll see you then. As long as I send them the stuff and they set it up, that's how easy it can work. So that's how you use Eat Success to actually continue to build more and stack on top of that. And step number 6 is, continue to build. You should never stop building your business. So how can you do that? Well, I started to teach others. I created a coaching program back then. So I actually, and I still have coaching today. The rates have gone up considerably given the success that we've had. But I started teaching others. I did group coaching. I did one-on-one coaching because I had all of the success. I could show all these things where I made all these products, where I generated revenue, where I had a system that worked over and over again, and I could teach other people and I could guide them, because sometimes people need a coach. Sometimes they need that coach to drive them, because even with the system, even though I'm giving you this 6-step system here that's been, basically catapulted our business to millions of dollars over the last 10 years, is, sometimes people need that accountability. They need that coach. They need someone to drive them, someone to check in, someone to have a safety net. Because the one thing I really look back and remember back in 2009 is it was very frustrating to me. I felt like I learned enough to have success online. I really felt I had enough of an education, but it felt like I had a puzzle. It was in front of me and there was a couple pieces missing and I just couldn't complete it. And then once it clicked, it just all took off. The momentum shifted, things took off, things started to stack, and my business just literally, blew up. I hate to use that terminology because people use it so much in their sales letters. Blow up your business. It sounds silly, but the business really took off. The momentum kicked in and things really started to grow. So by having that success, I was able to teach others. I was able to have a coaching program to help others be able to leave the 9 to 5, to leave their job. So I was able to help them do that. You can start this process over again, right? So you can use Eat Success to build more, but you can also go back to step 1 and go back and do research in the market, which you absolutely should. What else? What's selling? What are launching? What are people asking for? Follow the same process and create another product and another product, right? The process works each and every time you do it. You just have to follow it and follow through. Create new products. So what I did back then is I created profitable product creation. So I actually created a course where I taught people how I create products. And I really break it down in a lot more detail here. I said create a product here, and I gave you a general overview, but I actually have a course called Profitable Product Creation where it breaks it down step by step. Here's how you put the blueprint. Here's how you shoot the video. Here's how you compile it. Here's how you put it together. I basically show you the entire thing, right? So I created a product. That was one of my second products. Then I created a profitable product promotion. I don't know why I was stuck on this profitable keyword thing, but profitable product promotion was all about how to get traffic to your product. So once you had a product and you didn't use this method here potentially and find a partner, I showed you different ways you could go out there and get traffic. And then obviously you want to have proof it works. With any new product that you're going to launch, you want to have proof. So if, obviously profitable product creation, I created this product that made, 6 figures in 4 months. That was enough proof for me to be able to teach other people how to create products, right? If I came to you and said, I created a $100,000 product, you're going to say, okay, you obviously know what you're doing. So you're going to, that gives me, validity. It gives me credibility in the industry. It gives me the ability to sell a product on how to create a product, right? Because I've done it and made money doing it. You can continue to get new partners and joint. So here's what this was the other cool side effect of all this. So when I made these partners, and I connected with partners. So what started to happen is Tim Castleman was actually another. I don't know if you've heard of him. He does a lot of the notes now for like all the big events. So he'll do notes for like funnel hacking live notes, traffic and conversion notes. So that's what he did. He does now. Back then when I connected with Tim, he was kind of real big in the offline world, like I doing SEO and lead gen and things like that. And so he was one of the partners that I ended up working with, selling my product. And he approached me and said, "Hey, do you want to create a product together?" And I'm like, "Sure." Right. So now I got these partners coming to me saying, "Let's do something together." Same thing happened with Jason Fladlin. Same thing happened with John S. Rhodes. They came to me and they're like, "Hey, let's joint create. Let's be co-creators on something together." And we went on to launch other very successful products. It still happens today. Recently, I did one with Ron Douglas, who's really big in the industry. I've done ones with Charles Kirkland, a lot of other big names. But essentially, it all came from building these relationships and continuing to building out this stuff. So the key really is don't stop. If you stop, you see, the thing that happens when you kick this process off is you start to build momentum. And as momentum builds up, it grows. The momentum gets bigger, it gets stronger, and you start going faster and faster. Money potentially starts coming in more and faster and faster, because as you start to ride this energy wave, things just start to happen for you and out of the blue. Like these people coming to me and saying, "Hey, let's create a product." I didn't expect that. It was all a great side effect of me following the whole process and doing this. But you always want to keep moving forward. Don't stop. If you stop, you're going to get stagnant. The business will stall, and it'll stall, and then you're going to have to try to restart it. Now, I'm speaking to you from experience. I've been doing this for 10 years, so I've rode different waves of momentum, and sometimes things stall out and you got to kick things back up. The key, though, the key to continually building and stacking is to don't stop. Always be moving forward. Always be doing connecting or creating. You always want to continue to build your business if you want it to last. All right, so that's pretty much the entire process that I wanted to share with you tonight. And like I said, if you happen to come on later into the call, maybe you're expecting me to sell you something now because I gave you some cool content. But the thing is I have nothing for sale tonight. There's no way you can pay me. There's no way you can buy anything. I have nothing for sale. I purely wanted to invite you to this call because I wanted to show you this process, because I wanted to motivate you to get started. Maybe you haven't got started, or maybe you've got started but you haven't had the success you want. Right? That's what this call is, and that's why I like doing this calls, because it's not always about running a call to generate revenue. Sometimes it's nice, and I enjoy giving. I like teaching. I like teaching on these calls. I like giving back, and I like helping others have the success that they want to have. So that's why I did this call. So if you're here and you came on late and you think you're going to get pitched something now, well, unfortunately, I'm sorry to disappoint you that there's nothing for sale. So does anybody have any questions in this entire 6-step process that I've walked you through here today on this call? Any questions at all on the process, anything I've done, anything at all? I'd be happy to hang out and answer those questions for you, and then we'll wrap things up here in a little bit. All right, I'll take a break here just for a second and see if we get any questions that do come in. All right, it doesn't look like I any questions, so it looks like I might have done a good job of teaching this content, which I always enjoy doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap things up here in the next minute or two. Unless anybody else does have any questions, I'll hang out just for another minute or two to see if somebody jumps in with a question, and otherwise I'll wrap things up. And if you want a copy of the a replay, let me know that too. Just put replay into the chat box, and then I'll know that you're interested, and I'll produce the replay and I'll mail it out to you. Make sure that you get a copy of that. So Norm says, so how much networking do you have to do as an introvert? Norm, I'm going to be honest with you. So I may seem kind of confident on this call because I've been doing this for 10 years, but I still identify as an introvert. I'm very quiet. I would rather sit behind the computer and teach these classes every day and help people. I've given speeches and done presentations with Jason and James and all them. We used to have a group called Practical Profits, and we spoke in Vegas and Orlando, and I've spoken in front of a large audience, and I'm okay doing that. But to be honest, I'm very introverted, Norm. Just because you're introverted doesn't mean you can't reach out to. I reached out to these people through email or Facebook or wherever I could get a hold of them. When I did it, it was mostly email. Now you have the luxury of Facebook, potentially Twitter, wherever you can get to them. You send them, just reach out and send a message. Say, hey, I got this really cool product. I think it might fit your audience, and here's proof that it works, and here's access to the product. So that's basically what I did. Is I sent James an email back then, and all this started. And the same thing with Rob. I sent Rob an email and said, hey, would you be interested? And that's it. So being introverted is there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly great. And this model is perfect for that because you don't really have to go out and deal with people. You don't have to speak. I started doing these workshops, and I really enjoyed teaching in this webinar format. So even though I'm kind of introverted myself, I'm still sitting behind a computer. I don't really use the camera. Some people will still use their camera when they do these, and I'm just like, hey, here's the screen. I'll show you all about this, and I'll do some videos, but I'd rather just do the blueprint, show people the blueprint, and talk through it and help people that way. As long as I'm here giving back to people, I don't think it matters. But yeah, so the networking part is still cool, right? You can still do it. Do you see how you could still do it? And it doesn't matter how introverted you are, and it doesn't matter if someone doesn't answer or if someone says no, because there's lots of people out there. There's lots. If you go back over to this site here, to Munchai, here's another thing to think about, right? We talked about where do we find these people to network with? Well, all these people on here are launching products, right? All these people are on here launching products. So you go down and find, Dave Kirby and Bobby D and Ali G and Paul Nichols. Find them on Facebook, find them on Twitter, find them on YouTube, find them on, try to find their email. Simon Warner, Don Wilson, Sam Becker. All great people. Sam's actually a good friend of mine. Donald's a good friend of mine. But find them on here and connect with them. Here's how you network. These are all the big players. These are the bigger launches. So these are the bigger names. These are everybody. So if they're highlighted over here, these are the bigger names. But these are all the people in the industry that are launching products. So go, see how many, Ankur Shukla, he launches a lot of products. So if I could get connected with him and I had a product that was related, go after him. So here's another place that you can find everybody you need to network with, right? And I'm always open to, another reason I do these, I'll admit too, is I like to do these is because sometimes now you have a connection with me, right? So whether you've been on my list or you've come on one of these calls, you have a connection with me. So if you have a really cool product idea and you've kind of done what I said here, by all means, reach out to me. I'll actually I'll send a message out to you all. This is my personal email. It's a Gmail account. If you, I'm going to send it to everybody. If you have an idea that you're working on or you're in process or you have one that has proof, reach out to me. Maybe it's something that I can partner with and I can bring you into my list and my network and then invite you to all my friends. I'm not saying I can guarantee that. I'm just saying, hey, you made a connection with me here tonight, and if you show me something really good, by all means, I will take a look at it. All right, we got people asking for the replay. Blanca says, I'd love to have a copy of this video, so valuable. Thank you for your time. Yeah, no, thank you. Your time is just as valuable as mine. So, and I know there's so much noise out in the industry, and there's so many different things that people are telling you to do this, do that. But I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me here tonight. That's why I try to make these pretty short and quick. I don't try to draw them out. Sometimes people get on these marathon webinars and they're hours. I think I delivered this one in just over half an hour. I try to keep the content digestible so that you can get it, and you get the information you need and you get value out of it. And then I don't take up too much of your time because I certainly appreciate and respect your time. So does anybody else have any other questions before I go ahead and wrap things up? I'll probably get the replay produced and out the door within the next 24 hours usually. I'm pretty good about that. So I'll get you a copy of the replay so you have it, so you can watch over it, so you can go through the process. And I sent my email out, so if you're interested in moving down this path and you have something you want to talk to me about, you go ahead and hit me up on that email, and I'd be happy to take a look at what you have. So I'm going to open it up for questions one last time, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. And then, like I said, I'll get the replay produced, and I'll get it over to you guys probably within the next 24 hours. All right, it looks like I do not have any other questions. So with that said, everybody, once again, I just want to say I do appreciate your time, because you could be doing lots of other things. And I appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with me here tonight, to interact, to engage with the process. And I hope that you found the process something that you can follow. It's a great process. It's a simple process. If you follow it, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to, jumpstart, kickstart, expand your online business like I was able to do, because it's the same process we follow over and over and over again. And I just like to try to simplify it down and keep it, straightforward for everybody to follow. So with that said, everybody, I just want to say once again, thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me tonight. I'll talk to you guys all again soon. Have a great day, and God bless.